Having never left the continent, culture shock is an understatement to describe the sensation I experienced when I traveled halfway across the world to a post-Soviet Union country, Moldova. A place where blonde American girls are stared at like aliens, and you have to point to the menu when the waiter comes by because almost no one knows even the first word of English. I was plucked from my pampered lifestyle, clean streets, and fresh air, and plopped down into a city where dust hangs over everything, even the futures of the university students I had the pleasure of meeting. These students are studying to become interpreters, so they spoke English quite well. For many of them, this was their first interaction with a native English speaker. Their diction was formal and conversations were cautious, at first. Then it became clear that though we are worlds apart, every college student worries about the same things. The girls asked about my hair and if it was my natural color. They wanted to know if I dated, if I went out with my friends, the music I listened to. This was all good and fun, but the difference is that in a few days, I would be getting on a plane and flying back to the land of opportunity while they stayed there. I'll go on to earn my degree from my prestigious private liberal arts college and land a job right out of college making money that these students wouldn't dream of at the height of their careers. I'll lazily roll out of bed to walk a few minutes to my class while they commute as far as an hour using rusty public transits and maxi taxis to finally reach their one-building school. I'll go home to visit my parents in our large suburban Atlanta house while they return to their villages that are just those, villages. These students will have the opportunities that I have had and will continue to have. And why? They were born in the wrong country. They weren't born white, middle-class Americans. How dare they? And before you pity them, before you shed a tear, I want to get across that though these students are in a different country where the coins are worthless because the currency is so inflated, it doesn't make them any less human, any less concerned about their futures, their friends, their loved ones. They have dreams and goals and aspirations just as we do. Theirs won't include an obscene salary or a slew of real estate, but it doesn't make their dreams any less admirable. When we went to visit a village where our friend Vic Duke grew up, I found something there that I feel like we miss out on here in America. Total strangers who couldn't understand a word we were saying invited us into their home where they had prepared lunch for us. They didn't even eat, but instead stood around and watched us enjoy the traditional Moldovan food. We squeezed in at a table in the middle of a kitchen smaller than my dorm room, while they encouraged us to drink more of the homemade wine. The people in that village, just like the students we met in Chisinau, were all full of life and contentment. Yes, it is easy for us to feel sorry for the rest of the world who lacks opportunity. And yes, in many places, the people are devastated with their plight, but not in Moldova. There I met some of the most genuinely kind and wonderful people. They welcomed us to their city as if we were family, and it made me sad to leave them. I learned from these people that even though not everyone is white, middle class, or American, it doesn't actually mean that the rest of the world is miserable. In fact, I'd argue that the Moldovans I met are much happier than many of the privileged people I interact with on a daily basis. We should teach ourselves to have that same contentment, that same appreciation for life, because in the end we only have one life to live.